Okay, gentlemen, you already know the rules. Let me remind you to keep it clean, protect yourself at all times, obey my commands at all times. Touch gloves. Good luck to both.
Hironori Mishiro, who just a couple of fights ago, 2 years ago, said he lost all of his confidence in his boxing, but a new team and a new gym has him on the cusp of a dream opportunity as well. Round one.
And this is either going to be an awesome performance from Mishiro or an awful one. I don't think there's going to be an in-between.
Cruz to actually hit the chest and the torso area, Mishiro.
And he is an aggressive, come-forward fighter. I think the problem, though, probably as often as he needs to against the fighter with the accuracy of Andy Cruz.
See, that's what I mean by stiff and robotic for a guy like Cruz with his background, with his straight punches to really land on Mishiro easily.
Started his career at the Watanabe gym, which is most famous for producing Takashi Uchiyama. But as I mentioned, felt that his boxing was crumbling. Lost his confidence after a shocking loss in Korea. And now is training at the Yokohama Hikari boxing gym.
And for Cruz, I can already see it. You know, so robotic. You know, he doesn't really. The key here to land a big right hand. There
you see some reddening on the nose, courtesy of that jab as Cruz.
Or lead right hands. You know, it could be jabs, lead right hands, but just want to soften up Mishiro. These Japanese fighters, you know, they could take a punch.
He can be a very unorthodox puncher. He'll come at you with that sort of out of nowhere.
Yeah, the 2-1 is a punch that gold medalist and successful amateurs throw because they face a lot of southpaws, and that 2-1 is actually the opposite of a 1-2 when you're standing.
And further to that point, you know, one of the core tenets is to always finish with that lead hand to keep yourself safe, to pivot out. We see that from Cruz.
Good right hand there a moment ago from Mishiro.
Yeah, that's a sneaky right hand that I was talking about. He has a quirky upper body movement, right hook as well. You can't sleep on a guy like Mishiro.
Then look, give me the angle. Give me the angle.
Andy Cruz and Hironori Mishiro here in our co-feature. Good right hand from Mishiro right before the bell. And guys, we saw Cruz corner, of course, with Bozienis, and for my money, this is one of the interesting kind of fusions of boxing ideologies. Andy Cruz has talked about combining what he learned back home in Cuba, now the Philly style of fighting that he's learning now.
Yeah, he gone to a trainer over in Europe, but he wanted to learn. So he goes up to Philadelphia and start training with Bozienis, and that's been the emphasis out of that amateur style and getting him sitting down on his punches. Only beat one of his opponents very early in his career.
I mean, just the jab alone is going to win this with a tall, lean fighter that doesn't really move his upper body. Stab him in the gut. That sets up overhand shots. And you can see that the jab is already busting up the mouth.
Cruz has outlanded his opponents 897 to 244 here, but it's basically 4-1.
Yeah, his accuracy. He's not someone that is going to run around the ring. To make a comparison, he is not a guy like William School. Not going to use the entirety of the ring to try to avoid shots with his defense, his footwork, and his reflex.
Yeah, you're going to have to be patient with a guy like Mishiro. You know, tough fighter, never been knocked out. You know, he's one of these cagey fighters, keep coming forward. So you got to break these guys down, you know, outclass them.
Good body work setting this up for Cruz. Now he's putting them together on the inside, right side of the face of Hironori Mishiro.
And you can see the two schools of training, you know the range, keeping the discipline, you know, popping them with that jab, clean punches on the inside, that Philly style, you know, with the body shots, combination punching.
Back live here in New York City. An excellent start for Andy Cruz in this title eliminator against Hironori Mishiro, as round 4 is now underway.
And there's those quick jabs of Mishiro. Those are pesky jabs. And once he starts throwing that right opponent, that's what I want to see right now. Putting Andy back foot.
To correct myself, obviously, this is round 3. Hironori Mishiro, you know, we're talking about potential adjustments for him. He was talking to the Japanese press earlier this week, and he said, listen, there are people asking me, hey, am I worried about the win on the scorecards if I'm fighting overseas? Should I be more aggressive? And he said, listen, I'm not a knockout puncher. Try and stray from what I do. It's just going to put me in more danger.
Mishiro doesn't like those body shots. I think, look, stabbing him down, get to you, man. And you can see Mishiro doesn't like him backing up and actually, you know, wilting every time that Andy Cruz trying to go downstairs. You can see him covering up his rib.
Mishiro, deep breath there after a cascade of right hands.
I love the punch selection from Andy Cruz. You just don't know where he's going to go with these shots. Just as likely to go downstairs with a stabbing body shot over the top with that right hand. Very disciplined.
Right hand by Mishiro.
Over anxious or too aggressive here, but I think he's noticing away from him, or he's going to start getting hurt. Big right hand again there from Cruz, and down goes Mishiro, and indeed, he is hurt.
What a shot. That landed cleanly. Right on the jaw. First I thought he rolled with it, but it was a clean shot. You can see the legs buckled, the knees gave out. Mishiro's hurt.
Andy Cruz just cannot miss right now. Cruz all over Mishiro, hunting for the knockout here in the third.
And this is where the stiff upper body of Mishiro is going to come and bite him. He needs to duck these shots. He can't just block them.
Mishiro just trying to turn away from that right hand, lining him up for that shot as he does twice more. It's uppercuts, it's straight rights, everything coming at Mishiro right. Oof. Nice right hand from Mishiro.
Cruz just missed with a big right hand that would have ended this.
Mishiro just getting there first. But you're right, Sergio, that was a fight ender, but there may be some to come here.
Sergio, Mishiro's just kind of dipping, leaving that head exposed.
No upper body movement. That's what I talked about, being robotic.
Down goes Mishiro again before the bell. Mishiro up and smiling, and he will make it out of the round somehow.
I'll give Mishiro a ton of credit. 2 knockdowns in that round. He's just ducking down to one side and leaving the side of his head exposed. Wide open target for Andy Cruz to tee off on.
No upper body movement. He's really stiff.
Round 4 underway. Hironori Mishiro will need to make some serious adjustments, or else this one could be over. In short, just cannot take that many straight right hands. It looked like Cruz was almost surprised at how easy and how available that shot was.
Well, because it's landing so easily, and you can see that Cruz, that right hook to the body, that's going to actually open up the overhand shots for Cruz.
And that percentage is just going to, with this fight, outlanding Mishiro 40-5 in terms of power shots. And those numbers are climbing already. And there from Andy Cruz.
Every time Andy Cruz lands a clean right hand, it seems to freeze Mishiro.
And even getting peppered like he is, Mishiro digging down to the body of Cruz. I mean, the Japanese fighters, man, they got heart to spare. They could take a shot, very resilient.
Nice left hook to the body there from Cruz, comes right behind it. Big right hand again, Cruz.
Yeah, that right hand can't miss.
Nothing can miss right now. Mishiro incredibly brave, but just does not have an answer for Andy Cruz when he starts putting his shots together.
An overhand right from Cruz should end this, but he needs to bend his feet. Mishiro's a sucker for that right hand. Go back to the jab, even Cruz. There you go, popping him like that.
30 seconds here of round 4. Just waiting for the next explosion here from Andy Cruz.
Body movement there by Cruz. Nice and relaxed in the pocket. Everything missing by Mishiro. And there's that 2-1 I was talking about earlier. That switches it up on opponents. Whenever you're landing a 1-2 so easily, switch it up on them with a lead 2.
Andy Cruz having a tremendous time in there right now. You see the joy on his face. Everything working for Cruz. And we're maybe looking at a future world champion here in Andy Cruz as the doctors are going to take a look at Hironori Mishiro.
You ready?
Warm round of applause for Mishiro. And the problem, Sergio, isn't whether Mishiro can react to the eye test there from the optometrist.
Andy Cruz is just way too sharp with those, popping him with that jab, softening him up, and then lining up those right hands. Fighter that doesn't move his upper body, doesn't have quick instinct to roll with shots with his chin. You're always going to land cleanly. So those shots right there, Corey, those are shots that hurt you. This fight's not going to last much longer.
Beautiful uppercuts on the inside.
If Cruz just puts together combinations just like that, with hooks coming around the guard, they'll stop this fight. Punches are landing way too cleanly.
Well, Chris, I feel about your scorecard, but I suspect we're not going to hear Andy Cruz with an absolute paint job right now. Hironori Mishiro needs saving from himself, and that is it. One final Cuban missile of a right hand from Andy Cruz, and he stamps his ticket for a world title shot.
What a talent Andy Cruz is. Cuban skills with Philadelphia power. A world title shot is coming next.